Clemson is playing the game of the week in the ACC, maybe the game of the week in college football. Well, that's no big surprise. That happens all the time. But the opponent is Syracuse, the Orange, coming in undefeated. I like this. Death Valley on Saturday. We got Jason Priester on the line, as we typically do, from allclemson.com. So that's my cue to get on over to allclemson.com. Check out Jason's work on SI. Jason, how's it going today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about you?
I'm doing just fine. So let's talk about the Florida State game first. I saw most of it. So for about 20 minutes of game time, something like that, a quarter and a half, it's 14 all. Both teams are going at it. Really competitive game. Then if you fast forward to the end of the game, obviously Clemson's got a 20-point lead and Florida State comes back. They, when you get the onside kick situation, you still feel fairly comfortable because you can only pull that off maybe 10 or 15% of the time. It's not like Florida State got the ball legitimately back down a score to win the game. But still, it got a little dicey there at the end. Now, that middle section, Clemson dominated the game, ran away with it. Still, some good and bad, some positive, negative. Your thoughts about the FSU game?
Yeah, some good and some bad, no doubt. I thought, in the first quarter, LSU, I was about to say LSU, FSU was able to move the ball, especially on the ground a good bit, more than I thought they would be able to. And thought Clemson made some adjustments. The defense started to settle in, play better in the second quarter, really played well in the third quarter. Then once they go up by 20, the offense goes conservative. You're running on 3rd and 18, just trying to get out of there with a win. And normally Clemson can rely on that defense to lock it down, but that was just not the case Saturday night. Things starting to fall apart in that fourth quarter. Clemson had 24 missed tackles in that game, 24 missed tackles, and you just cannot do that. Just weren't very gap sound. And I think kind of like the offense went conservative, the defense kind of took the fourth quarter off in a way. It just was not a very pretty performance in that fourth quarter. And there's no nice way to say it. Dabo Sweeney said it the other night. Lack of focus, call it what you want, but it was like they took the fourth quarter off.
Yeah, which is a little surprising for two reasons that hit me at least. One would be that, if the game's 50-0, it's 50-0. Nobody's coming back from that. And so I can understand it's human nature, lay off, just kind of let it go. Or if the opponent's kind of at a place where, okay, we're up 20 and this opponent's, it's Furman, it's fill in the blank. We know we are so much better than them athletically. But with Florida State showing what they showed last year against Clemson, for them showing what they showed for most of the first half against Clemson, a 20-point game in college football these days, that's a nice lead. Obviously, it's a very comfortable lead. You shouldn't blow it, but it's not a done deal. And so that definitely proved itself out in this one.
Yeah, I didn't think the linebackers played very well at all in big chunks of this game. They were dropping a lot of guys in the coverage in that fourth quarter and rushing 3 and just giving up chunks of yards at the time. Just very uncharacteristic of this defense. Florida State had a lot of success with, the inside zone and cutting it back against that defense, man. And they picked up a ton of yards on the same play. Felt like over and over and over. And for a while, Clemson didn't have no answer for it. Like I said, I thought they played well better in the second quarter, very well in the third quarter, and then the wheels came off in the fourth quarter. It's not unusual to see a Clemson team get a lead and go conservative on offense, but it is very uncharacteristic to see the defense not be able to hold it down.
Got Jason Priester here, allclemson.com, talking up the Clemson Tigers. Syracuse is coming to town, big game in the ACC, the game of the year in the Atlantic Division. We didn't expect that since Clemson's basically taken care of the rest of the division, at least all the teams that are expected to do anything. Before we move on to Syracuse, DJ, if I remember 15 of 23 off the top of my head, ran the ball pretty well. Like it seemed like a very, regardless of whatever missed throws there were, a couple drop passes, that sort of thing, that he played a really solid game.
Yeah, I thought Florida State did an excellent job of taking Clemson's receivers away. You know, they were covered a lot of most of the night. I saw Ngata getting double teamed a lot, but I thought DJ played, you know, fairly well. Not his best game of the season by any stretch, but he was solid, no doubt. He was picking up plays, making plays with his legs, picked up a couple crucial first downs, scored at least one touchdown with his legs. But you know, he just keeps plugging right along. I think he's got 17 touchdown passes now to just 2 interceptions. He just keeps doing what he's been doing. I thought Clemson did a really good job of attacking the perimeter of Florida State's defense with swing passes to the running back side of the backfield. Like I said, I thought the Seminoles did a really good job of taking the receivers away. But, you know, again, DJ he just keeps playing to the same level pretty much every week, you know, and he is really starting to silence a lot of those doubters he had coming into the season. Completing 65% of his passes. I mean, that is a 10% increase over what we saw last year. That's nothing to sneeze at.
No doubt that's significant.